Hi, Greensboro Academy families. This is Mrs. Murray, and I am the media specialist at Greensboro Academy. And obviously, I handle the library, I teach technology, and I also help in the lines of tech support. Usually on our teacher side, but now that things are remote from home, I'm your tech support person as well. I'm coming here just to kind of give a little recap of how the week went and talk about some common issues that some people are running into and see if this can't help a little bit. The week went pretty well. Obviously, I did get lots of emails and texts, and that's definitely to be expected. How quickly we had to roll this platform out. You guys have done fantastic. Google Classroom is our main platform that we're using for remote learning, and it is the platform we'll continue to use. So it's really important that we all get used to doing it and working on it. So I want to make sure that you're not running into any frustrating issues continuously, especially. One of the most common issues that I saw throughout the week is with families that share a computer. We do it in my family as well, so I know it very, very well. A lot of times it's going to remember that last user that was logged into Google. So some families are logging in, they're doing everything right, and as soon as they click on that Google Classroom, it's empty. Well, that's because somebody else is signed into Google. And that person signed in obviously doesn't have a Google Classroom. So what you're going to do in that situation is you're going to close out of that Google Classroom, look up at the upper right-hand side of your screen in your Google browser, and you're going to see that there's like a circle that has a letter in it, usually the first letter of whoever's name was working in it last. Sometimes it has a picture. Mine has a picture if you've uploaded an avatar. You're going to click on that and you're going to sign out. Okay, and then start the process back over of logging in, and you should have no problem at that point. The other issue obviously is working a tablet or an iPad or a phone versus a laptop or a Chromebook. There's a difference, and it's a slight difference, but it can be very, very confusing because the least little mistake you make in one or the other, it's not going to accept a student's credentials. So you're on a laptop, you're on a Chromebook, you're good with just logging in with your 20s.amurray and Angie as your password. I'm using mine, but obviously you'd use your student. A iPad or a tablet or a phone is different because you're going to download the Google Classroom app, and then it's going to ask you for an email address to log in. And this is where you will add at the very end of your 20s.amurray, you will add at nhascholar.com. And then their regular first name is their password. There's no capital letters in either side, whatever you're on, a laptop, Chromebook, iPad, whatever, the student's password is always going to be the same, but it's that username. If it's asking for an email, on that Google side, that Google Classroom side, it's at nhascholar.com. Your student doesn't have an email, doesn't have an active email. These inactive accounts are created because a lot of the things we do on the backside with Clever and marrying classes to students and all those things usually involve an email address, as you're aware of things that you do in your business, in your home, things like that. So that's why these inactive accounts are created. No fears, your student can't be accessing or getting emails from anywhere. And so whenever you see that login with a Google, asking a specific Google login, that's where you're going to use that email. Now, if you see something that's an NHA page for login, like it might say National Heritage Academies, and it's usually like a blue and a white or something like that, you don't use that NHA Scholar, okay? All else fails, you can try both until you get it right. But that's kind of the rule of thumb. You know, if you see it's an NHA, National Heritage Academies login page, you're not going to use it. You're not going to use that at NHA Scholar. But to get on an iPad, iPhone, if you're just logging into Google Classroom, just that software, there's no interface from NHA, you're going to use that email address, okay? I hope that helps clarify that. It can be really confusing, especially to students who aren't used to using it at all. And Another thing about tech support, my email address is 20.amurray@nhaschools.com, and I am here for tech support all the hours of the school day, in addition to my classes that I'm doing online, and I've done read-alouds for Library Week. So if you have students, especially K2, but you know, everybody likes a good read aloud. You can find those either on the Facebook page, the Greensboro Academy Library Facebook page, and they're even on your Students Clever portal under the library section. One more thing I wanted to talk about, and I'd like for you to discuss with your student, is Google Classroom itself. The platform is very easy to navigate, but I want you to make sure that your student is going to the necessary parts of Google Classroom. When they open Google Classroom, it should open in what's called the Google Stream. And you'll see tabs at the top that say Stream, Classwork, and People. The Stream is usually the best first place to start. Us teachers do it differently with where we're going to post things, but they'll either be in that Stream or that Classwork tab. Just like we teach differently, we might post a little bit differently. So it's important your student goes to that Stream where it should have some information there for them. And then when they click on that Classwork tab, if your teacher has assigned classwork, that's where they're going to go to either mark their classwork as done, or there might be further instructions in classwork, but there's those two places for them to look for information. Before they private message their teacher, let's make sure that they've looked in both of those places. But of course, if there is something they need to ask their teacher, the best way to do this would be to go on that Classwork tab, click on an assignment. If it's specific to that assignment, that would be the best assignment to go to. But if it's a general question, just choose one of those assignments. And there's a box for them to make a private comment. Now that comment goes right to our emails, all of your teachers' emails. That comment will go to their emails. So they don't have to be on Google Classroom to read it. They'll get it immediately in their email, and they'll be able to answer it during those designated times for answering. When if your teacher asks you to mark your assignment as done, a lot of times we do that just to have some accountability, and it's also good for the student to be able to go back to that Classwork tab and see, okay, I did that. So what they're going to do with that is they're going to click on their assignment that they finished. They're going to click on to view assignment, and that's where you're going to see a box that says mark as done, as well as that private comment box. They're going to click mark as done. Another box is going to pop up, and it's probably going to tell you did not submit work. If your teacher did not specifically ask you to submit work, which a lot of teachers, especially of the youngers, are not doing, you will just click mark as done again. Okay, and that is all you need to do for that particular part. So I'm hopeful that that is clear, and I know a lot of you have done all this, so you're right on track. But certainly throughout however long this closure lasts, please feel free to reach out to me with any technical questions that you have. There's nothing that's there's no dumb questions. There's nothing like that. I don't mind answering any questions. And I'll put my email address in the feed with this particular video. So I hope you all are doing well. I hope to get to see all of you all really, really soon. Hang in there, and we will talk to you later. Thanks.